I'm about to explain what you need to know if you're a woman in menopause or perimenopause or postmenopause trying to lose weight. I'm going to share some of the biggest misconceptions and explain how to make sure you can lose weight so easily, like if you were in your 20s or 30s. So let's dive right in. First of all, my name is Stu Schaefer. I've been a weight loss coach, a celebrity weight loss expert, really, for the last 24 years, and I've worked with women over 50 and even in their 60s and 70s for the last 2 decades. And what I've discovered is that your bodies are so unique and you need to do things differently in order to be able to lose weight in a healthy way that doesn't wreck your body, but still allows you to burn off body fat faster and easier than ever before and keep it off forever. Say goodbye to the body fat. So I've got 5 things I want to tell you about because these are the things that my clients always miss. And when we correct these things, wham, they'll lose weight so quickly and easily. All right, so number 1, it's not your hormones. Right now, all the doctors, the naturopaths, they're just prescribing hormones left and right. And so the automatic response is, oh, I'm in menopause, it must be my hormones. This is what's causing me to lose weight. That is not the case. Out of all the clients I've trained over the last 20 years, thousands of them, maybe 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, maybe it's their hormones. But in reality, that's not what's driving it. It's that you're doing things incorrectly, whether it's exercise, food, stress, all the above. And the things that maybe worked before, but still weren't good, they've stopped working, and now they may actually have the opposite effect and cause you to gain weight. So you got to know, it's not the hormones. What it is creating the correct chemical reactions in your body. Now, you can do this through food and exercise. View food as medicine. It is better than medicine. There's no side effects. If you eat the right food at the right time, in the right combination, then every time you eat, you're going to be creating or causing the correct chemical reactions in your body. This will cause your body to release the correct hormones, the correct enzymes. It'll cause things like your thyroid to balance out. It'll cause your hormone levels to balance out. It'll really put your body in this great environment where the body can burn fat and the body can do what it's designed to do, which is heal itself and balance itself. All right, I'll give you a perfect example. All right, so I was working with a client named Jody. All of a sudden, she gained 30 pounds. She figured, oh my gosh, I'm hitting menopause. Must be my hormones. You could see it was all around her waist. And she was able to lose the 30 pounds in just a few months without hormone replacement therapy, just by switching out what she was eating, when, and the combination of foods at each meal. Once she started creating the correct chemical reactions in her body, she lost the weight, burned off the body fat, and in a very easy and sustainable way. All right, now number 2, you've got to understand the impact that stress has. Okay, first of all, women are more susceptible to stress than men. And this is simply because men have more testosterone, and testosterone is kind of an anti-stress hormone. It helps offset the stress. Okay, well, if that weren't bad enough, now when you hit perimenopause and menopause, what happens is 2 things. Your body is now getting older, so it becomes more sensitive to stress, and your ovaries are shutting down, they're turning off, they're stopping the production of the sex hormones like the estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. And so now what happens is your adrenal glands take over the hormone production. Okay, well, if now you're overstressed, the adrenal glands are also the glands that produce the stress hormones. And the adrenal glands are designed to always produce the stress hormones first. They take precedence. So if you're stressed now, what happens is the stress hormones will be produced, but your adrenal glands will be so busy doing that, they won't produce enough of the sex hormones. And this is why a lot of times women will say, my hormones are off. That's why I'm gaining weight. No, your hormones are another symptom of something else that's off, which is also causing you to gain weight. And that's a big difference. So you have to understand the sensitivity now that you have to stress. And I'll give you a perfect example. So many women, we're going to talk about exercise in just a sec. So many women, when they're trying to lose weight and they hit menopause and they start gaining the weight, they'll do things like intermittent fasting or low carb or start exercising more, or they restrict calories. And all of these things cause more stress on your body, and they'll cause you to gain weight even more. It's totally opposite. This is why so many women get confused, all right? Now, number 3, you've got to forget about calories. All right, I always get negative hate comments about this. People say, oh yeah, you can't be in a calorie surplus and lose body fat. Yeah, and actually you can, okay? My clients do it all the time. But let me tell you the difference, okay? The difference is calories versus the food quadrant. And I'm gonna put a video right up here all about the food quadrant. The food quadrant says there's 4 parts of nutrition, okay? There's how much you eat, Okay, that's the calories. Then there's what you eat. And then there's the timing of foods through the day. And then there's the combination of foods at each meal. And all of those things have a huge impact. Those will determine the chemical reactions that your body releases. And so if you eat the right food at the right time in the right combination, the food you eat won't even get to your fat cells. Your body will use it and put it in the muscles. It'll put it in the liver. Your brain will use it. It'll go all sorts of different places except your fat cells. Now, if you do this incorrectly, this is why people can cut calories and still gain fat, is because the food that they're eating is mostly making it to their fat cells. So if you eat correctly, instead of reducing calories, what will happen is you'll feed the body how it needs to be fed so that you can tone your muscles and still burn body fat and lose weight without having to restrict calories. Now you won't get the cravings. You won't feel restricted. You won't feel tired. And most importantly, you won't damage your metabolism or your body. You won't overstress your body from starving it. So now your hormones can stay more regulated because you're eating correctly. Your adrenal glands will be getting the nutrients that their body needs. So your body's not stressed, and those adrenal glands can produce your hormones as well. And this is the difference between someone who's just looking at calories and they say, oh, all it is calories in, calories out. All you need to be is in a calorie deficit. And they're ignoring all of these factors, which is why if you've done any sort of research as a woman in menopause, you know that the normal stuff doesn't apply to you. We're just digging a little bit deeper here. This is how it works. All right, now, number 4, carbs are your friend. Carbs are your friend. So many people right now are vilifying carbohydrates. Now, I will specify, you've got to use them correctly. They are a double-edged sword. If you use carbs incorrectly, if you don't eat the right kind, if you eat too much at once, if you don't time them correctly or combine them with the right foods, then yes, they can cause your body to store fat. But when you use them correctly, and this is the key, they can actually help your muscles get more toned more quickly, speed up your metabolism, speed up or strengthen your thyroid, reduce cortisol levels and stress, and help you burn fat. You just have to know how to use them correctly. Now, when I say carbs, I'm not talking about vegetables, because a lot of people say, yeah, eat carbs, but only eat vegetables. I'm talking about the real carbs here, fruit, and things like rice or potatoes or pasta or beans or bread, these types of things. The real carbs, that's what I'm talking about. And I'll give you another example. I had a client named Marcia. When Marcia came to me, she had been doing keto for years, eating 0 carbs. We've added hundreds of grams of carbs per day to her nutrition, and that's what allowed her to lose weight. By the way, her energy also went through the roof. Her mood and her brain clarity were much more consistent through the day. It was so much easier because she didn't feel so restricted. So carbs are your friend when you use them correctly. Now, last piece is you've got to exercise correctly. Okay? A lot of women over-exercise, but you actually have to balance that exercise with your food. If you exercise too much, if you do too much high-intensity exercise, if you do the wrong kind of exercise or you do it too often, this can then sabotage your results. Okay, I had a client named Robin, and Robin was trying to lose weight. She couldn't. She had hit that menopause wall that a lot of women talk about, where everything she used to do stopped working, and she had been a typical, really cardio bunny, would always do cardio and work out in the gym. I told her, hey, Robin, you need to do less exercise. She said, no way. I said, okay, look, you're doing too much. Cut it in half. Well, she panicked, okay? So, if I cut it in half, I'm going to gain all this weight. Well, not. The opposite happened, and you can see her belly just shrank. It went away. It was gone. She was eating more than she had ever eaten before and exercising way less. The key was she was doing it correctly, and she wasn't doing high-intense exercise. It was actually low-intense exercise, and it was so difficult for her to wrap her head around because it's the opposite of what you hear. You need to do the right type of exercise, you need to do the right amount of exercise, and you need to do the right intensity of exercise. More is not always better. In fact, sometimes it's worse if you're doing too much or too intense or too often or the wrong kind. They need to be balanced. Now, case in point, I want to come back to the calorie thing. I want to show you another case study of someone I work with named Devin. When Devin and I started working together, not only did we increased her calories by 50% and decreased her exercise. And you can see the change that happened. She actually lost body fat, gained muscle, and she took 10 years off her life. Her skin looks amazing. She tightened her waist. It was absolutely incredible. This is what happens when you do things correctly. And it's why it's so confusing out there. There's so much misinformation. And when you're a woman in menopause, you want to view your body as an ecosystem. It's very complex. You're going through different changes. You've got to understand all these chemical reactions, how exercise affects it, how food affects it, so that you really can create the right results and burn off body fat and keep it off without wrecking your body. Now, we're going to throw up 2 videos here that you're going to want to watch. These are specific tips and mistakes that most women make when they're trying to lose weight in menopause. That you want to watch these videos. I'll see you over there, and I'll see you next time. All right, take care.